Hi, this is our second lab, creating dashboards using streamlit. So here, today we're going to cover some of useful commands here in streamlit. So for example, if you want to visualize a table in your dashboard, or if you want to input some text. Also, there are some options to filter your data with select box, multi-select, or sometimes in the dashboards, you see that there are some like very important metrics, like in the top part of the dashboard. So we can add only the numbers, the metric, not just like charts or tables. Also, you can add a specific metric. In addition, you can upload files, download files. Also, we can create expanders. That's like a small area that when the user clicks the area, is gonna increase the size, so the user is gonna be able to see the information like a table or even a figure. All right, so let's go over a couple of examples. Let's use most of these commands. Okay, so this is our first example. You can find it in our Brightspace section. This is the notebook week 6. Okay, so in the first example, we're creating a data set. This is a random generation of some of the values for each field. So we have some orders here, different products, laptop, monitor, headphones. They belong to 2 different categories. We're creating the price and the quantity value. Okay, so once we have the information for the orders, the idea is to create a dashboard to be able to analyze those orders. So first thing here is like we create a sidebar filter. Remember, just in this case, our filter will show us only like one category or the other, or all of them. So for that purpose, we use a select box, and the options will be given are all, like all categories, or the different values that we get from the categories. The values are electronics, accessories. Those are the 2 values, and the all, which will include, of course, both categories. So once the user selects the category, then we need to filter our data. So we will filter the data, of course, if the option is different than all. So because if the user selects all, we will keep working with the same data frame. Otherwise, you will need to filter it using the category filter, right? That's where we save that's where we store the information about that what the user has selected. Okay, so once we have filtered our data, then we can add the KPI, some couple of metrics. These 2 metrics are the total revenue and total orders. So we use st from streamlit.metric. So we'll see the number, right? This is an f string. So pretty much what we have here is like it mixes text and values. All right. So in addition to the metrics, we can also see we can create tables. So here we will visualize the table in our dashboard, and at the end there will be a chart. So the only difference with these charts, with this chart and the previous charts, is that this one we're using a function, a method from Streamlit, the st.varchar. But remember that you can use matplotlib or plotly, and they use the st.plotly chart. This is just an alternative. Okay, so I'm going to create the dashboard with this information, and then we're going to edit the code. So I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to create a repository. Remember, this is just to practice the steps from our previous lab. Okay, so I'm going to create a repository with the dashboard. This will be dashboard 1. It's available, the one example. I'm going to add the README file. So we create a repository. And here let's add a couple of files. Remember to add extension. It's really important to add extension. Otherwise, Streamlit Cloud won't recognize the file. We copy and paste. We paste, and then let's commit changes. Now we need to add the requirements. This is important for Streamlit Cloud. You need to ensure that the name of the file is correct. If you make a mistake here with the name of the file, then Streamlit Cloud won't be able to recognize the file and won't be able to install the required libraries. So you may get an error. Okay, so the libraries will be pandas, Streamlit. Even Streamlit is not necessary because we're using, like Streamlit server, and of course, they in their environment they will use Streamlit. But just to be, like to ensure that we have listed everything, it's better to just add the Streamlit library. But again, it won't affect. Okay, and we're not using Plotly, but sometimes if we add more files here, like more .py files, using the same requirements, txt, then you can, like add all libraries that are needed for different apps if you're using the same repository, which is an option. I mean, you don't have to create a new repository for every single app. Sometimes, like in class, since we have like very small apps or dashboards, you can add like 2-3 examples in the same repository. So you can use the same requirements .text file, if that's the case. Okay, so let's commit the changes. Now we're ready to deploy our dashboard. So this is the D1X. So let's go to Streamlit Cloud. We're going to create an app from GitHub. So D1X, XD1, and let's deploy it. So let's wait until it finishes. And we're going to make some changes. So I'll show you the initial dashboard. We're going to move some of the things. We're going to change the position. Okay, so we get our e-commerce sales dashboard. So we have the total revenue, number of orders. We get a table with the data, and there is a one shot here, a bar chart. Remember that you can filter, right? We have the 3 options: all, electronics, and accessories. You can just filter for electronics, right? For all. Now, in addition to that, you can expand. You can have like a full view of the table, and same thing with the plot, with the chart, in case you wanna analyze just one element, one object of this dashboard. So that's an option. Same thing here. You can expand it, right? In the case you wanna focus only in a single chart. All right, so I'm gonna change those positions here. I'm gonna, for example, these 2 metrics. I believe that they will look better if instead of having like 2 rows, I move this one next to the other one, like the total revenue and total orders in the same row, in 2 columns. So let's do that. And even later, if you want, you can do the same thing for the table and the chart. All right, so I'm gonna go to our file, the .py file, where we have our code. We need to edit the file. And let's find our metrics. They are here. So what we're gonna do is we need to add columns, right? Because we wanna place them in the same row but in different columns. So we're going to create column 1 and column 2. ST, because this is from Streamlit. Columns, the number of columns 2. Now let's create the first one with col 1. The indent here is really important because that means that this is inside the width column 1. Now with column 2, we'll do the same, but for the other metric. So now if we rerun our app, our dashboard, it will show the two metrics in the same row in two different columns. So first you need to commit the changes, right? We need to save. Okay, it's ready. Now, if you go to Streamlit Cloud, it did it automatically, right? But if it's not updating the dashboard, you can click here and rerun the app. So it will, you know, like again, it will rerun the whole thing, so it will show you the changes. Okay, now let's do the same thing for the table and the chart. So it's the same idea, you just need to edit. Here, so we need to add again column 1 and column 2. You can change the names if you want. ST columns, 2 columns with column 1, okay, and same thing with column 2. We commit changes. And then we rerun our app if it's needed. It's updated. So now we have our dashboard, right? You can see here the two metrics, the table, and the bar chart, right? So this is just to show you how to change a little bit the way it looks. Okay, so now let's go to our second example, or case study 2. Case study 1 is the same as the example that we just covered. So I'm just going to case study 2. So in this one, we're going to create a sales dashboard for an e-commerce store. So we're given the different information, we know order ID, order day, ship date, customer segment, country, city, state. So we have more information in this example: sales, quantity, discount, and profit. Okay, so same idea. The idea is to create a dashboard to visualize all the information, the sales trends per region, state, city. Okay, so we're given here a file, the sample superstore, which you will find it in our Brightspace. So if you go to Brightspace, you will find the file. I already downloaded the file. Right here, you will say sample superstore. Okay, so we will get an error. Let me tell you this in advance. We will get an error. The code is fine, this code. So we'll show you first the result of the dashboard, and then we will go over the code. As I'm telling you, we will get an error when we try to deploy the app. Okay, so if we go to GitHub, I'm gonna create a new repository. Okay, dashboard for the Supercenter. You already know how to do this. We create the readme file. We need to upload the data. There are two options. Here we're gonna add the data into our repository. Another option is within our app or within our dashboard, we can ask the user to upload the file. That's an alternative too. Okay. So here I'm adding the file. Now we need to create again the code and the requirements. And that's what we're gonna do. Let's create the code. So it's a dashboard for the supercenter.py. Remember the extensions. We paste. Again, remember we're going to get an error. And that's normal. Remember, every time you're coding, it's going to be like very normal, right? That you get errors. Now let's create the requirements file. Okay, we commit changes. And now we're ready. So let's go to the community cloud from Streamlit and let's create our app. I call it dashboard SC, the repository, and then this is the file. So let's deploy it and let's see if it works. So what I'm expecting to get is an error when the app is trying to read the file. So it's like right at the beginning. So we will need to make some changes in order to be able to run the file. Okay, so I was able to create a header, right, a title, but then when it was trying to read the Excel file here, we're getting the error. Now, if you notice, in the corner, in the right, there is Manage App option. So if you click Manage App option, you will get more information about the error. So it says import error, missing optional dependency, XLRD. So even though in our code we're not importing this library, it looks that this library is required in all the libraries that we're using. So we need to add this library into our requirements. So let's edit our requirements. Let's add the XLRD. That's the suggested library. Let's commit changes. Okay, we go to our app and now it's updating. Remember, in case it's not recognizing the change, just rerun the whole thing. And now it is working. And now it is working. So that was just a small thing, but the thing is difficult if you don't read the manage app, you won't be able to identify that specific library was required. Okay, so let's see what we have here. So this is to perform an EDA superstore dataset. So first thing is like in the left panel, here we have 3 different filters. These are multi-select filters, so you can pick the region, city, and state. You can pick as many regions as you want, right? And of course, the data is going to filter. What else we have? So we have the multi-select filters. We also have some input dates here. So when you click, this is to filter our data like for a specific time window. So when you hit here, you will see the calendar because you will be able to pick the start date and the end date. And that's going to change, of course, the plots. All right. So what else we have here? We have the charts, which already you know how to create in 2 different columns. All right. So it's showing another error here. Sometimes it's with the visualization. Maybe it's requiring here it requires matplotlib. That's fine. So let's add matplotlib into our requirements. So let's edit the file again. Let's add one more. So we'll update our requirements, and now the app, it's also identifying the changes. And now it's working. All right, so we were covering the charts. They show the sales per category, sales per region. And if you check here, these are expanders. So these are tables, but in order to see a table, you need to click. So you have two options. You can visualize the table right away, or if there is like too much information, you can have some expanders here, like this. So when you click the information, you will see the data, right, in the tables. And also, this is optional. There are some download data buttons. So if the user wants to save the data, you can just download a CSV file or a different format if you want. Same idea here. We have more expanders here. Okay, so now that you get an idea of how this looks, so let me show you real quick the code. Okay, so first thing that we do here is we read the file. Then we create this is how we capture remember the dates, the start date and the end date. So this is in order to do so, we need here the date input, the streamlit date input. So that's how you capture that information. That's how, using this command is how you get the calendar, so the user can input the data, input the dates to be more specific. So what we have, day 1 and day 2. So we need to filter our data, right? Because that's gonna show us only that time window from day 1 to day 2. Then we have the filters in the sidebar. Remember, there is a filter per region, per state, and also one for city. So we use multi-select for that, st sidebar multi-select, right? Now the tricky part with these filters is that if you keep adding more filters, then to filter your data, you need to add different conditions. So here you have all possible conditions here to filter your data. So for example, if the user is not selecting region, is not selecting a state, is not selecting a city, then you will use the complete data frame. And the extreme case is if the user is selecting some regions, some states, some cities, then you need to have this condition, right? With the filter data is going to be filtered for a specific region and some specific states and some specific cities. And here what you have are the intermediate cases, when the user is only selecting some regions, some states, or some cities, some regions. All the possibilities are here. So again, if you keep adding more filters, it depends, of course, if you need to do that, you will need to consider all possibilities. All right. Then we add the plots. We have done that in the past using Plotly PX, right, Plotly Express, and with stplotly chart, we're able to display that in the app or in the dashboard. So what else we have here that is new or different? Okay, so this is another plot, but then below the plot we have the expanders. So remember that below each plot there was a small label, like the first one was category view data and the other one region view data. So once you click, then you will be able to see the table. Well, that's this expander that will show you the small table. Now, in addition, in that expander, we will see the download button. So if the user decides to download the button, then it's going to get a CSV file. It's going to get the CSV file. All right, same thing with the second one. Below the other chart, there is another expander that's going to show the table, and also there is a download button to download as a CSV file. Alright, so that's pretty much it, because the rest of the dashboard is using the same. So plots, more expanders, and some download buttons. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the video for now. I'll see you in the next lecture.